We've been looking at the observations of the observer in the body-mind complex, otherwise called the chitta, in every individual. The neurons that fire inside the human brain give rise to a feeling of consciousness within this body as the source of this consciousness. Through the cognitive power, observes the world around and gives rise to a personality in the long run. The five vriddhis, otherwise called the cognitive power, that forms the basis of cognition that's happening or observation taking place, it's all shaped up using all these five methods inside the brain. Okay. All these observations give shape to a personality. A person is delimited by his choice of observation, limited by the cognitions, the knowledge that is accrued due to the limitations of the cognition or availability of the cognitions. Okay. Thus gives rise to the personality, which is otherwise the homeostatic state of the observer. Whenever there is a homeostasis, is all about a person returning back to feeling right in reference to his understanding and knowledge or perception, in short. Then there are two things in psychology talks about is personality and behavior. In one shot, what is personality is all about how what we do talks about the behavior, and how we do that, how that behavior is all created is all about the personality. This is another perspective. Behavior refers to all that we do, and personality is how we as individuals tend to behave. That tendency is all shaped up based on the cognition limitations and gatherings. There are some examples which will explain or illustrate this. In some cases, people will do certain things confidently, some do it anxiously, some avoid it. Okay, likewise, these things makes a personality of various types. In ancient Greek, this is also termed in temperaments, and they consider humans of 4 different temperaments, and they have been classifying them in melancholic, phlegmatic, sanguine, choleric, etc. based on their temperaments, that is emotional temperaments. But whereas Patanjali differentiates into 3 gunas, that is Rajas, Tamas and Sattvic. Rajas is all about consciousness, and Tamas is all about unconscious state of the mind. Unconsciousness, or not in the context of unconsciousness, but in unconscious Freudian state of mind. Okay. And it explains Sattvic as the attention. Attention is very essential component or cognitive component of the 3. Okay. So, where these all are well explained, these are all well illuminated or well explained in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14. So, there are many slokas. We will take one after other, and how it relates to the current context, let's take it up. In general, it talks about Sattvam, Rajas, Tamaha, Idi Gunaha, Prakriti Sambhavaha. Sattvam, Rajas and Tama are gunas of this. Prakriti is worldly prevalence. Okay, these are all three gunas. Gunas is a little like a personality. Tendencies for the behaviors are all because of these three gunas. Okay, closely related to personality. So, Nibadnanti Mahabhavo Dehe Dehinam Avyayayam. Dehe Dehinam. It's all integrated with the body. Okay, these things are part and parcel of the our existence. That's what is the thing. So, in that, Rajas is the one component which is the conscious component. Okay, Rajas is all about planning, willpower, critical thinking, short-term memory, judgment, etc. goes into the conscious efforts of the brain, which is called Rajas. So Rajas is predominantly all our abilities to act in the world, which is equivalent to the role play, because we do everything with respect to a role or duty, whatever we can say. What Bhagavad Gita says here is Rajo Ragatmakam. Ragatmakam is Ragatmakam. We can say Raga is attachment. It's all due to the emotional cord. Amygdala plays little bit of a role. So it binds to the day-to-day activities, binds us to the entire worldly attachments here. With the know that Trishna Sangha Samudbhavam, okay, Tan Nibadnanti, okay, Karma Sangena Dehinam. Karma Sangena is all about actions, or in right terms, karma is the roles. You can be a son, you can be a father, you can be a citizen of this country, you can be a teacher, doctor, lawyer, whatever we act on this world, in this world, is through a role or a profession we can call. You can call it as a job or a voluntary service, or you can play a what is that? I mean, parental role, all those things. We cannot act without any role. So these are all karma. Karma is role based. Sangena, that is the methodology. Dehinam, okay, that is the body that it works through, is this kind of a role play. Rajas Tamas Chabibuya. Rajas Tamas Chabibuya Satvam Bhavati Bharataha. So when Sattvam has to take shape, Rajas and Tamas has to be subdued. Okay, when attention comes in, these two has to be little lowered. So when you have to be attentive, that is different story. We will talk about that. These two will go down. Rajas Sattvam Tamas Chaiva Tamas Sattvam Rajas Tataha. So likewise, when the Tamas takes over or Sattvam takes over, or the Rajas takes over, the other two guna will be little bit subdued, is the whole point of this shloka. Satvat Chanjayate Jnanam Rajaso Loba Evacha. That is Loba Evacha. Loba is, you can call it as greed, or all this emotional bindings like greed, we want to be part of this thing, jealousy, envy, all these things can also be part of loba. So Rajas is for loba. The consciousness brings in greed, and we cannot call everything greed. Greed is good, not in negative context. Tamaso bhavat. We will talk about the other things in the next sloka level. Here we will take limited things about the Rajas. So Rajas is all about conscious efforts, okay, conscious mind is all about planning, willpower, critical thinking, or role plays. Okay. Then comes the very essential Tamas. Tamas is the unconscious part of the brain, and in Freudian principle, it's not only that. Here, many neuroscience, 95% of our brain activity is because of this Tamas, unconscious mind, and we can only process 10% of the information. The rest automatically is getting functioning, like our heart, our kidney, our liver, or the sensory system, which are pouring out through all the pores. Okay, these are all automatically happening. Okay, emotions, it's all temperaments, everything, beliefs, values, these are all inside. So Tamas plays a major role because by default the Tamas runs the body and the entire system. So that's what is taken up. Tamasatva Ajnanajam. Okay, Tamasatva Ajnanajam means it is Ajnanam means it's not knowledgeless, it is knowledgeless. We don't need any knowledge about how a heart functions or kidney functions, why the hunger, everything else. So it is all about automatic system. So it is all about Ajnanam. Okay, Ajnanam is wisdom, Ajnanam is you don't need that wisdom. Okay, knowledge about it. Vidhi means know it. Mohanam sarva dehina. Mohanam is it's all about emotions. Okay, it's delusions. You confuse one over the other or something is all because of this tamas, unconsciousness, taking a predominance. If you look into this same verse again, in this case you can say tamas sattvam rajas tadaha. Likewise, when tamas takes over, the rest too will subdue. The sense when we have to go to sleep, for example, the attention is gone. The planning and sleeping, you cannot plan and sleep or work towards sleeping, you just fall asleep. That's the whole idea of tamas. Yeah? The other two has to be let go, like the other two gunas. Okay, so tamas is very essential one. When you take up tamas, the third is essential one is the sattvam. Sattvic is about getting the attention. Okay, goal directed attention, or it could be stimulus driven attention. Attention is a wonderful cognitive power, ability, that's equivalent to sattvam. So what Patanjali or Bhagavad Gita says here is tatra sattvam nirmalatvat. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat. So attention is non, I mean, it is specific and it can be selective, all these things, right? So it can be, it is non-tainted. Okay, prakashakam, nirmalatvat prakashakam means it brings in awareness. Prakashakam means it enlightens the body, that is, brings in illumination to the body. That way you become aware of every sensory things that are aware every part of the body. So if you can bring in the attention or awareness because of this attention to any part of the body, the attention goes there, you become aware of what is happening there. Okay, annamayam sukha sangena badnanti. It just anamayam, it will bind you to sukha sangena, happiness. Okay, so we give our attention to that which brings in benefits to the body mind complex. So it can shift our direction or make us move towards, work towards this right things or happy things. So it moves us out of trouble, and the attention can get us out of trouble. So it makes you happy. Okay, that is the whole idea of sattvam. It's all about focus. Focus is non-selective. It's but in case of goal-directed specific attention, um, it is going to be sattvam in action there. Okay. when we see all the three now, sarvadvareshu dehismin, sarvadvareshu dehesmin is what if through every pore spaces of this body, prakasha upajayate. Prakasha means it pours out, or you can say awareness is there. Huh? Jnanam yada tada vidyat. This is Jnanam yada tada vidyat. Wherever there is wisdom, okay, there is learning is happening automatically. So that then understand vividdham sattvam idyuta. Then know that it is all sattvam. Lobha pravittir arambaha. Beginning to begin anything. It's a beginning of action, change, whatever is lobha. Okay, it's karmanam ashamaha spriha. It's karmana means it's a role play. You can call it action in loose terms. Or without a role or a requirement planned out, nothing can happen. So the karmanam is going to give, this rajam is going to give you this action oriented activities. Rajasya ethani jayante virvride. Okay, it's know that it is rajam, rajas guna is in play, in action. Finally, aparaksha pravrittish cha pramoda moha evacha tamas ethani jayante vividde. Aparoksha ajnana pravrittishi, wherever there is no awareness of knowledge, okay, then remember that there it is going to be tamas guna in action. So remember, sattvam sanjayate jnanam. Sattva gunam will take you or align you with wisdom. Raja lobham evacha. Rajaso lobha evacha. That is, rajas guna is all about action or change or greed. Pramado mohau tamaso. Pramada mohau, whenever there is delusion, whenever you don't know this, but what is happening or what are the event or what is the knowledge attached to it, then it is all about tamas, automatic happening. Okay, know this. That's what is the point of the sloka. So in short, the neurons inside the brain with all these three gunas is going to give shape to the entire personality. And we know that tamas is 95%, which is the unconscious component of within us. That is 10%, there is a subconscious portion where there which deliberates everything, and only very little, when before we act consciously, we do it in the subconscious level. That is what is told about. Okay, so the brain works with this unconscious and subconscious component, and always remember 95% of the thought happens below the radar. By understanding how that works, you can game the system to beat your bad habits and unconscious biases. We'll talk about the unconscious biases a little later. Yes, knowing about this unconscious tamas is going to be a great game changer. We will look into it through the point of view of various yoga methods to get in control of these three. What are the top three? Tamas, Rajas, Satwa. Tamas is unconscious, Rajas is consciousness, Satwa is about attention, precognition, subconsciousness, okay, part of Tamas. Rajas about awareness, duties or actions, or it can be role plays. Satwa is about attention control. Tamas is all about memory, nidra, vikalpa, viparyaya. Rajas works with memory, vikalpa, viparyaya, and pramana a little bit. Satwa is all about pramana, full time. Emotions is purely tamas. Feelings is the rajas. Work on tamas. You feel happy, for that you may be doing something else to make you feel happy. So the emotions are all tamas, unconscious state. Okay, so you can stimulate it and bring the effects of that. You likewise Satwa is all about jnanam or wisdom. Wisdom is nothing but a skill. What is wisdom? We talk about it a little later. In one shot, emotions are all part and parcel of this tamoguna. We'll be anxious, we love, depression, contempt, pride, shame, envy. These shape the temperament of this body, which in turn the rajas can bring out the anger. We act in anger. We show disgust. We can be happy with the help of the attention, which will take us in the right way. Okay, likewise, certain things rajas helps to get us certain component of the unconsciousness to come to the fore whenever we need it. So what is the difference between attention and consciousness? When we pay attention to an object, we become conscious of it. When we shift attention away, the object fades from the consciousness. That's the whole idea. Everywhere, the research says, okay, neuroscience or psychiatry, they says, to control your life, control what you pay attention to. So, paying attention gives us the control of the life and hence the happiness. That's what is called jnana. That control is jnana. Wisdom is all about knowing what to do and the ability to do when we want to do it. So nature of attention, we'll get to that in detail. Attention is focusing of consciousness on a particular area. Focusing is little broader sense. Attention is more specific. Attention is constantly shifting, changeable, is selective and mental process. Alertness and narrow range and span. Okay, attention management is the idea. You're living a life of choice or a life of reaction and distraction. Reaction is tamoguna. Okay, that is the whole idea here. All we remember, wisdom is a skill that you can learn by paying attention. Okay, wisdom is jnanam. Okay, jnanam is just a skill. Okay, you know how to discern and discriminate at the right time is jnanam. That's called vivekam. We'll talk about this in detail later. For now, 3 gunas lead to the personality. Hence, we'll take it to the behavior in the next stage.